Okay.
Hopefully, I think audio is on. Check, check, check. Looks good across the deal. All right. So today, officially the first day of the Santa Claus rally. So very exciting. Slow week, really, especially from like an economic perspective. Uh, I'm gonna expect some low volume. A lot of traders that I like follow or watch are definitely off this week or taking this week off. And I know Steven is gonna be in and out. So uh, next time we'll see everybody is going to be New Year. So this is it. So here till the New Year, probably, hopefully, Santa Claus rally. Fingers crossed. Just before we get started, we are options. We are an options group, so options are not for everyone. Um, you should read characteristics and risks of standard options before trading. I think they're supposed to be. What are we supposed to say? Past results are not indicative of future future results. Um, but just jumping in really quick, and we'll try and get through this since it is holidays. Last week, not a huge economic week. We did have GDP Q3 come in. That old news. Q4, I believe we actually just got the first round of numbers, and they're looking really good. So that might be kicking us off for hopefully what looks like a good close to the year, and likely a good first quarter. Consumer confidence came in pretty decent, and personal consumer expenditures (PCE). So that actually was slightly high, but not so high that it was going to shake a market. Income's up. Actually, no, income's down. Sorry, right? Spending significantly down, and we can look into like retail sales. But actually, I believe this quarter's November retail sales were actually better than last November. So, I mean, for whatever, take it for what it is, right? Last November was a lot of COVID, also, but pretty good overall. Nothing really to jump in on. I think there was a lot of Omicron stuff. Oh, I think I had another slide. Yeah, a lot of Omicron stuff this morning. Things about airlines catching a lot of cases. So travel got set back a little bit. Boeing was looking like it was going to break that 200. Not really sure. So that actually would be one to watch. And oh yeah, GDP Q4 expectations 6.7%, and inflation's very high, but for the year 2022, inflation expectations are falling off. So, and here is retail sales 8% up from last year online. Oh, and online sales up 11%. So pretty decent week, fairly flat. This is the overall look for earnings. So I just want to do a quick, Q1, 2, 3, right? So far and continuing, everyone is still beating expectations, and I think moving into next quarter. So earnings season's over. We'll have like next to zero earnings, but we're going to be in full ramp in about 3 weeks. So that'll kick off again, and from what I can tell, most of the expectations are still low, which means that we could have a pretty good first half of next year or first quarter of next year. So that's going to be a trend to follow. We're still doing really good overall, and if we see things like Boeing or Disney turn around, Apple have a good earnings, then yeah, I think a good first quarter next year is in the view. So this week, moving forward, and I gotta move this. Moving forward, so really not much today. It's very, very slow week in terms of economic information. Friday, we don't have anything. Normally, like Baker Hughes this Friday, we are having a full day on Friday, so no New Year's off, unfortunately. But whatever the exchanges can do to keep the commissions flowing, that's what it's looking like. So Friday full day, even though it's the 31st, and yeah, we don't really have a whole much. Jobless claims, PMI is probably going to be the biggest number to watch. And again, a slow week, but not really market moving numbers is going to be generally good for our hopeful Santa Claus rally outlook. So moving along, Monday, oops, didn't really have anything today this morning. Tomorrow we do get home price index, so prices slightly up is what is expected. And again, we can look back last week. Their home sales are down, so prices up, home sales kind of going down. Last month, Wednesday is actually the home sales, pending home sales numbers. Wholesale inventories and goods and trade balance. Actually, this is a deficit. We always run at a deficit, really. Just if you're not familiar with some of these numbers, retail inventories are good to know. Like, what are the retailers expecting? How are they kind of ramping up? Goods and trades is just like the difference between, what we as a country are importing versus exporting. We're largely an importer. Things like that. Those are things that will actually move the general market. Jobless claims have been not moving markets at all. I think everybody is expecting them to go slightly down. Prior month 208, so slightly tick down 205. And Chicago PMI, we got consumer sentiment. Oops, sorry, I'm thinking something else. Sorry, Chicago PMI that's actually purchasing managers index, and that's like, this is really tied to the services, so market services sector, really, and then oil rig count. That's it. So super light week in terms of economic stuff. Nothing coming in on Friday, and so I can actually just jump in to the charts. Been looking at certain stuff, and we're talking to Steve. Some of the guys, the pros in the channel, have been. I've sent this off to a few people just to look at, because to me, when I first saw this strategy, I was kind of blown away. But it's called the Strat. Probably very late on the uptake on that one, but we'll go through it with you guys. But it lines up with everything that we've always traded. So just a quick note. So I'm going to start a little bit differently, just on the daily today for most of these charts. So this is SPY S&P 500. So this is daily. Actually, we can take a look at weekly. So this is last week's candle, and this is this week's candle. So we're out of the gate starting above. We're already at all-time highs, I believe, for the S&P. Clean above, right? We've had a little bit of a broadening range before coming into that. So you can expect, when you see this kind of situation, you can actually expect a pretty high, pretty volatile markets, or nice moving markets. And this would actually line up exactly with our hopeful Santa Claus rally. So somewhere around let's call it 485 on the high end to close out the year. That would be amazing. This is an average, by the way, this is an average week's range. These little orange boxes that you'll see as we go into the charts. So I'm just going to dive into a 30-minute, which is our normal view. This red line was, actually I'll move this. So here is prior highs, and as we speak, we are just now crossing prior highs. So can we see a little bounce up to kick us off into the rally? Yeah, absolutely. So that would not be unreasonable. Again, this is a full week's range. Maybe not today, but I'll tell you what, if we close the day above 475, this is very likely, which would put our target just about 485 for SPY on the week. So very cool. Definitely like this a lot. Anywhere below yesterday's, let's say below yesterday's close of 468, yeah, where we would be looking at more of a bearish situation. So as long as we hold 468, and if we're above 475, active bull run straight to 485. Below 465, yeah, below 465, then expect another drawdown. Anything in between, I wouldn't trade. So that's how you should read these. That's what I see on the SPY. On Q's, actually very similar situation. So I'll just start us again. Here's this weekly candles. Today's Monday, so starting out the new week, clean above the prior week. We can use candlesticks just like anything else, right? So can we expect this to be a full candle, directional candle above this? Yeah, we totally can. So start drilling back into the time frames, weekly to daily. This again is an average week's range. So this week would put us at 415 for an upside target. And then we can drill into the 30-minute just to see where is that major kind of support level. This is from last week, so this is that major resistance level straight across all last week. We're clean above that right now. So as long as we're above where these sellers are, here's how you should read this, right? So anyone that was short the Qs last week, anybody that was short the Qs last week, their stop loss is going to be where? You can look at this and say, okay, if you were short the Qs, your stop loss is going to be, call it, and you probably everyone, all at once would say 400, right? 401. And so why would I expect this to go higher? Well, if you were short the Qs, your stop loss is going to be about 401, and we're above 401. So you should expect that all of those people will be covering, meaning buying the Qs, and this should push right up. So when we see something like this, very, very simple, this is what you should visualize, what you should get out of this visualization right here. So I would expect this, again, average weeks range, shoot. Even on a low volume right now has been a little odd, right? So we do have low volume, but if there's no sellers, then I actually might expect a larger than average weekly range, which is kind of like what we're seeing in things like Tesla. So anything below, so that's on the high end, anything below this pivot, which is what I would see just about midsection, right? So if their stop loss was at 400, 401, right? They were all probably entering right around 396, maybe even anywhere in this range, right? So if we do go below that, anyone who was short may have gotten stopped out, but once they start breaking below this 396 level, they were like, okay, my short is valid again. Let's slam it down. So I would expect, unfortunately, if you do drop below that, to go short again, right? Not what it's looking like right now. So just read the charts that way. Always have a range and never have a predetermined idea of what's going to happen. Let the chart tell you what to do. So right now the chart says long. That's the Qs. And industrials, very similar across the board. We were thinking short last week, but again, same thing. They're breaking up towards these highs. If you were short industrials, you'd probably be short right around 359, 360, and you'd probably have a stop loss coming up here. You'd probably have a stop loss around 362. So if we can break above 362 right here, I would say that we would have a nice push higher. And again, an average week's range would be this little orange box, and that would take us to roughly 368 or higher on the industrial. So the fact, like things like Boeing right now, I don't know what it's trading at right now, but if it's trading above 205, something like that, that could be a pretty bullish sign. So bad news, stocks not dumping, not selling off. That is bullish, generally speaking. So IWM, switching to a weekly chart, just so you, this is big old consolidation. And we'll just go 1 week at a time, right? So right now we're above the prior week's range. So we can expect that this week's candle, as long as it closes clean above 222, will be a green week. Simple, right? Daily, same thing. We're testing it, right? So again, as long as it closes above 223.30, call it, and I'm just drilling into lower and lower time frames on the 30. Right now, we're above it. So this moment right now would be a moment that you would say, well, let's say on an hourly, first hour candle is done, second hour is starting. If we can get a third hour that closes clean above 223.45, expect a very good close. Very, very good close on IWM. That's how I read that. Prior week, we have sellers here. Yeah, so same thing, right? So sellers right in this 220 range. Anyone that was short, you'd be short right around here. anywhere from here to here, you'd be short. They'd probably be entering short, and their stop would be 226.60. So if we do get above 226.60, expect, where's my fox? Oh, my fox is gone. That's right. I would expect a pretty big break, at least to the prior high of this range, of that trading range at 235, if not higher. This is a big mover on IWM. Over to the favorite chart right now. I'm going to do the same start on a weekly basis with Bitcoin. So we had a very well established downtrend, right? This is now broken. So good. A lot of chatter, 50,000, nice round number, but last week high, 50,103. So we are not above that yet. That's where I would want to see, if we can break this high here, 51,800 and change, 51,850, call it. If we're above 51,850, next stop 53,250 and higher, right? Just very clean standard candles. Actually, I could take just this high of today. I like that. Prior high right there on this pivot. But again, weekly candle opening clean above prior week's candle. We should expect this to go somewhere around 54 and change in the not so distant future. So you want to read pivots on a lower time frame. We are breaking right above this kind of range. So again, same kind of concept, right? If you were short Bitcoin, you'd be short right in here in this little box, right? And your stop loss, if you haven't covered yet, which you probably, you should have, your stop loss would be 51.8 and change, right? So the second we break above 51.8 and change, I would expect a pretty quick push higher to the upside around 53. Very simple. I like it. Good one. So TLT, this interest rates, we had some pretty big moves. I would expect some chop moving forward, which is good for a continuation, at least in the Qs. Gold was an interesting one I was looking at this morning. I should probably move this over to oil because oil is getting some pretty big. Let's actually take a look at that. Crude oil features. Oh yeah. Okay. So oil having a pretty big breakout. So over 74. Yeah, we moved straight to this range. People still be short, but their stops would be right around this 77 level, maybe a little bit higher. So if we break over 77, yeah, we could be looking higher, which would be tough. For now, they might be adding to their shorts. So I don't know that this is going to be really. It's not something I want to take right now. Let me see. Huh? There's a better level. We'll see. Keep a watch on that one. You could be getting there. Ooh. Interesting. Possible trade there developing. The VIX. Yeah, we are closing below. Oh, we're trading below 20. So this is good. Remember, the VIX under 20 is going to be good for a steady rally to the upside. So that is what we're seeing, and that's what we should continue to expect as long as this is below 20. For option traders below 20, yeah, you're good for a lot of debit spreads. If you day trading options, if something you're doing, then that's probably okay. Just be really mindful of spreads. That's going to be your biggest cost overall. And let's jump into some of the stuff. So I know we were trading a firm this morning. I'll just take a quick look here. This was a trade we already alerted and closed for the most part. So big, giant downtrend that just broke today. So the second it broke 105, prior high here, 105.40, we could say, all right, this is going higher. And targets for me right now is 115, right? So 115 would be right around these prior candles. And you can drill in from an hourly perspective. That's where I'd like to be on a lot of charts, and then drill into 30. If you're day trading, I will trade a 1 minute for sure. But if we can get an hourly close that's clean above 107 now, because we're continuously moving. 105.40 would be a stop if you're entering in this kind of level right here. And again, if you're looking for options, that's cool. Just be very mindful. Bid-ask spreads. IV right now. Let's get to IV. IFRM. So right now, Affirm's IV is not super high. I don't have it. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at other screens. Affirm, 77%. So I think a lot of people are bidding this up. A lot of people are seeing this. So at this point, it's getting crowded from a trade perspective. But you can take a look at the 110 calls we alerted this morning, around 250. They're trading for 350 here. Targets are realistically, oh yeah, you're moving right now. Really, 115 in the very short term. And that's it. You know, that's a quick target. Everything, once you hit that target, then you can move on to a different trade, but it'll be a different trade. So just keep it there. Simple. Steven, did you have anything that you wanted to take a look at for your trades?
Affirm was a big one. I think we'd like to see it hit that 115 and then come back a little bit so that we can re-enter it for maybe a couple day swing or something along those lines. AMD, obviously we're still watching super heavily. Those January 150s are playing out very nicely.
Very much in the money.
I mean, yeah, we're blasting straight through that. So obviously 160 and 165s are on watch. If we get there pretty quickly this week, I'd probably be looking to close this trade out, secure some profit, let it cool off for a little bit before we get back into another swing for AMD.
Yep. I have the weekly chart up here. This is, weekly, today, Monday, right? So the weekly candle starts today, right? And we're clean above the prior 3 weeks. So, so to be surprised that this is going up would be kind of ridiculous, right? Daily, we're well above yesterday's high. So for all 4 hour, right? 1 hour. 1 hour, so we are almost 3 hours, 2.5 hours into the trading day, and we are breaking on an hourly basis the prior candles, right? So expect this to go. I got to target 155 and change today. 155.83. What are we at? We are 153. Call it 155 today. 154.75. Yeah. So so you could be spreading off, but just to expect, like from a trading perspective, this each one of these structures in market is a trade, right? So 155 trades over, then you can probably, if we break a new one, break above that, that would be a net new trade, right? So like 65 is your targets on the high end. Anything above that, you're kind of tracing a new territory. So hard to see any historical movements. But for now, this is a clean break in trend. Carrying on, you can expect from a swing perspective, absolutely 160, at least 160, 165 is where you would be. Definitely secure your profits, 100% of your profits. I like that one, man. What was the other one?
Yeah, it's been the ones from last week. I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone is talking about Tesla. I mean, we are still actively breaking out on this thing.
Yeah, I was looking at those 1150s again today from a short.
Yep, I was as well.
So you can see, okay, so weekly chart, right? So big, giant week last week, clean above last week today. This thing is moving as we speak. We might be hitting our targets real soon. Daily, clean above prior day, so expecting this target right here, which is 11, I'd say 1125, something like that. It can go significantly higher. we're almost above the high of the day, which would put us, oh yeah, so this blue line is the first hour high, right, up here, this first hour high. The second that it broke 11, you kind of knew this thing's going higher. Right now, I have an alert, 11:14. If it breaks that, it's going higher again. So, yeah, 11:50 in the very near future is well within reason. Like,
very much
within
so.
reason. Yeah, you can have a clean target right around here, right? This is where, so I get this level where this consolidation area was before, where it broke up, and the same point where it broke down. That puts us at 1170 for a target by the end of the year. So the next few days, Santa Claus rally at least to 1170. If it goes higher, it would be a new trade, but it can go up to 1250 is the all-time high. Is what I have on the list. Take another one. Microsoft, same thing. We have this is similar to AMD, right? Just back up on trend, clean trend here, right? This is first hour high, this blue line. We're clean above it, so we can expect, as long as it stays above it, kind of retrace, bounce. What is this target? Oh, and this target is prior week high, I believe. Yeah, prior week high. Yeah, so Monday, clean above last week's highs right now, and this is just the prior week's high. So that looks good as well. Daily, same thing. I did want to take a look. I took a quick trade on Facebook, very similar. We have a very clean, like it was consolidating here is what I saw, right? Anything above 335 would be bullish to the upside, and we kind of little gap up and run out of the gate on the weekly and daily. So last Friday's close, or was it Friday? Thursday? Last Thursday's close, 336. We're above that. So yeah, this is to be expected. We have some resistance levels right around 350, so that would be the target this week. You drill into the hourly. Second hour. So first hour high is this blue line again. As long as we're going above that, you can expect a little bit of continuation. Maybe stall out here, but this is for your swings, right? So if you're taking anything overnight, if you get a close above first hour high, you should be good for that 350 target, short term. Cool. I don't know if I want to take a super close look at anything. We can do coin. I put that on the list, and we are systems to go. Same thing, big reversal here. I don't know what you want to call it. A wedge or just a broken downtrend, that's fine. You get this kind of bounce last week. I think Steven pointed out. Here's the weekly chart. So Monday, first day of the week, clean above last week. We can expect this whole week to be green. We're already green, so confirmed there. Now we're just looking, do we continue higher, right? What does this next candle look like for the following 4 this week? So I can look at Monday first hour, and I personally don't really trade a whole lot Monday first hour, just because this is what is developing at the moment. So we want to see Monday closing is when I'll open trades, maybe Tuesday morning for the weekly swings. And that's really it. So as long as we're closing above the highs of the first hour on Monday, we can expect the rest of the week to be clean up. How high is a different story. I think my first target was about 290 something, 290. But it doesn't look like a lot on this chart, but it's quite a bit, and we are moving higher right now. We got all kinds of stuff popping off too. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, that's forward active breakout. I think we can take a look at stuff, but more in the server if you want to check us out. We are there, living in the day trades channel. A little slow this week just because of holidays, but I think that's good. I threw a couple quick pivots into the day trade channel also, just to keep an eye on. Pretty much all of those are hit running. Except maybe Disney. It might be a little different story. Let's see. Disney was having a consolidation week. So that's what I was looking at. And right now we're still consolidating. So, sorry, a widening week. So Disney, this is actually outside, kind of bullish engulfing bar. Doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere yet. So if it does, if we can get above 155 on the week sometime this week, then I would expect it to go higher. But no trade right now. Above 155, then yeah, I can go ahead. I would say trade to the upside. But for now, we are waiting and seeing. So this could be something like that. Could play out. To be expected. Cool. That's it for us.
Sounds good.
All right, man. I'll see you in there.
Okay.
See ya.
Okay.
Bye.